And we're back for Foreign Friday for 2025 debut. Thomas, we're off to Sha Tin. What's the significance of Saturday night, Sunday morning's insomnia racing card over in Hong Kong?
It's racing. They have big fields. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's not there's nothing unique in the card, but let's face it. The nice thing about Hong Kong racing is you don't have to worry about the field size.
No, that's absolutely for sure. We're covering 6 races today. Ordinarily, we do 5. Any reason why we added one in there today, Thomas?
Why not?
Hey, it's New Year, new things, right? Let's give them a roll.
Yeah, and we're not doing the first bunch, but they're all. I mean, with one exception, they're all pretty even type races. I mean, they're not the top class and by any stretch of the imagination.
A lot of handicaps in that 80 to 100 range, and then that 60 to 80 range that we're working on.
Yeah, and it requires some creative thinking.
Yeah, well, they always do. When the show is over, you can head on over to horseracingtoday.net. You'll see right here there will be a link to the show. You can or a part of the show. All the news notes that we talk about today, along with the replay, will be available there. When you're there, hit that HRT gear. Hey, to start the year, it's 2025. So why not start off with 25% off your Horse Racing Today attire? Show your support and save some money to start the new year after spending all of your money on all those holiday presents. So we're trying to be fair around here.
Or some slow horses.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we pick some winners. We did all right to end the year at were we Eagle Farm last week?
Yeah, the farm. Eagle.
So you can see a nice little horse racing. That's the one I got right here in black. So it fits, it's comfortable. And then of course
it's a deadly color for me.
Yeah, you can't do white. I'm sorry, you can't do white, but you can do the gray and black right there, or the blue, whatever. You can personalize it to your style for sure. So if you're sloppy with your spaghetti, mom spaghetti all over, like Eminem says, then don't get the white one.
No, I would highly recommend rethinking that.
And of course, every day we have some free picks over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There's a link in the description, no matter where you're watching, and then you'll see today's free track is Charlestown this evening. Of course, every day there'll be some, so head on over there to take advantage of that. All right, Thomas. Well, we're going to do Sha Tin. We're going to start, as I alluded to, 6 races. It means we're going to start off with race number 5. It's the PO LEUNG KUK Cup. You got to be very careful with how you pronounce some of that stuff. It is on the all-weather track. They're going to go 1,800 meters. So I had to pull up one that has the all-weather track. They're going to go here. They're going to make their way around 2 times. Thomas, I got a little bit of time to get to that first post on that all-weather track. What are we looking for in terms of running style?
I'm more of a front to mid-pack type, but there are ones that will close. It really depends on the pace, and this pace looks like it's not going to be particularly quick.
We talk about that right here. So here you can see the pace. All this is available over at hkjc.com, the Hong Kong Jockey Club. You got to make your way through a bunch of different links to find things, but hey, it's a lot of good information in there. You can see, as you mentioned, Tom, really only won that 12 horse. Wants to show the way. Everybody else kind of middle back. So maybe you get up to the front. Maybe you run some reasonable fractions. Maybe you can go wire to wire. How did you see it playing out?
I start with number 7, Sight Supreme. What is last for and first try on the all-weather last time out was at this class level. Inside move, ground saving trip, and got up in time. Did he find a home on the all-weather? Yeah, some of them like it over turf. You never know. Mm-hmm. And I think he can win again because I think there'll be a good enough pace, and I think he just needs to get that trip. I'm going to go with 12. My next choice is Happy Deer. Happy Deer showed speed in his last 2 efforts on the all-weather. He finished 2nd and 3rd. And this is after some races that were not so good. So I think he's going to retain form. And let's put him in there. Finally, I'm going to go with 5, Viva Chalit, or Charlier, I don't know. Something like that. I didn't have the best of starts last time out. Faced a decent pace and got up for third. Race before, he was asked for speed, and he faded to 11th. So he's 2 for 4 in getting third on the all-weather, and I think they just have to make sure they run him the right way. And it appears that he wants to be a little off the pace and not so close to it to have a chance. So I'm going to give him a chance and throw him in for third.
Well, we both noticed the same thing with Stite Supreme. He became Supreme on the first time he ran on all-weather last time out and won. So maybe he did find a new home, as you put it, Thomas. And maybe good chance for this horse, like many, to improve in the second start after a layoff. Number 1, Fantastic Fun, has a designation that no other horse in this field has, Thomas, and that he is the only horse dropping in class, and he makes the classic third start after a layoff. Number 3, something we hope for, is a reliable profit. Tom, this horse, of all the horses in the field, has been the most consistent on all weather, and as you kind of pointed out, horses either love the surface, hate the surface. There's very few that are in between. This one seems to make a reliable profit on the synthetic surface. And then finally, Happy Deer. We both like that one, probably for similar reasons. This one should show some speed, and as we pointed out on the speed map, could be on the front with everybody chasing them. And another one that in all likelihood will be its most fit in the classic third start after layoff, that very first handicapping angle we all come to know and either love or hate. Race 6, we're going to talk about the TONG SHAN handicap. They're going to go off to the grass on this one, Tom. You can see it's a straight sprint from back here. They're going to run 1,000 meters. If you look here on this course, boom, flat, just like English racing, Thomas. And any significance?
It's the only single straightaway race that they run.
Any advantages to having front running speed, or
not really? More generally, the outside posts tend to be more favorable. But again, it's the old story of walk that course and see where the best going is, and hopefully the jockey picks the right place.
And this time you can see they're going that way this time instead of that way last time. Confusing me, it's not a very far trip, as Tom says. But I mean, it looks like it's going to be pretty tight all the way around the track, Thomas. So, and they're just going to run in one big straight line across from beginning to end. So after they're done running that big straight line, who's going to be the one that finds their way to make that left turn into the winner's enclosure, or maybe right? I'm not sure.
Well, hopefully they'll follow out, come around, and go in. And my pick will be number 5, Kayang Victory. He ran 1,200 meters last time out. Poor start, and really never recovered. Past runs at this distance, he's had success, and he's got 3 wins from 5 starts. Definitely has some decent speed numbers, and he showed a little bit of kick at the end. And he's got that man, Zach Putin, up, and he wins a few races.
Yeah, a few over there.
10, Ariel is going to be my next choice. Showed little in his first 2 starts at Hong Kong, and came from last, got bumped, and finished third last time out. Your angle, third up. He had a really quick final quarter too in that race, so I think he's showing promise, and I think he can hit the board. And finally, I'm going to take number 14, Golden Luck. He did not have any benefit for a slow pace last time out, and they were crawling. And he did finish strongly though, so he decided to a little bit of a kick at the end. I like the distance switch for this one, and definitely going to get a price.
I'm gonna start off with a completely different horse, Thomas, and that is number 6, Holmes Accord. This one is taking a pretty sizable drop out of the group level. Been a while since the horse has run, but if it's ready, I don't think there's any question. It is the class of the field. And then you mentioned that man. There he is, Kai Young Victory, and that man rides on one of those horses that I tend to like. Those are those all or nothing. They either win or they run off the board, particularly at the distance for Zach Purton in this one. 5 times out, 3 dubs, nothing else. All zeros, nadas to the right side. Number 4, Red Elegance. My next choice, the third one. It's probably going to be your favorite, I feel like, Thomas. Might even be a big favorite. Third up, has a good chance to show up to those odds in there. But I think, considering the current form, the odds are probably going to be a little too low for the top of the ticket. Then finally, number 1, Baby Crystal. That one's another one that looks like it's in funky form. It's making its third start after a layoff. Definitely has faced much better in its career, and maybe some signs of life with minor improvement in that last effort.
And that's why it gets the top weight. Well, 2 of them got top weight, but that's, it's a big weight from 135 to 119. So,
yeah, big difference from top to bottom. Yeah, so I mean, it definitely has faced some tougher horses. Let's see if today it can beat the lesser field. Race number 7, we got the TONG handicap. We're going to go 1,200 meters this time around on the grass course. So they're going to start here pretty quick into that turn, coming back around the corner. I would suspect that with that corner somewhat coming up quickly, getting yourself into good early striking position is probably essential, Tom.
You don't want to be caught wide. Yeah, you can be, you want to be caught wide when you hit the top of the stretch, not at the beginning or in the middle of that race.
So if you want to see who
generally you'll have nothing left.
Yeah, going wide out of the turn into the turn is never fun. It's always my favorite thing. I put my money on a horse. They head into the turn and he's 4 wide, and I'm like, it's over. Unless he's like so much better than the rest of the field, and I'd say that happens maybe 2 out of 80 times. Pretty balanced race across the board. Flying Ace being in the back by itself is the lone closer. I don't know that there's enough front end speed in there for Flying Ace to really take advantage of it. Looks like they'll stretch out nicely. I'd probably want to be in this 4 right in there just from a tactical position. I don't know if that's really how it's going to work out or how I handicapped it, Tom. How did you handicap it?
Oh, I started with number 4, Bundavar. It's had it after having a favorable position in some of its previous races. Last time, it drew the outside post, had a wide trip, and I would call that unfavorable. Really had nothing at the end. He was just too wide.
Mm-hmm.
He draws the inside again. He's got good tactical speed. Zach stays on him. Favorite? Wouldn't be surprised. 1, co-partner Prance. Next choice. He's showed promise at this level. They've moved. He placed in a Group 2 race. Shows speed, then dropped out. Right. Well, I should say he was placed in a Group 2 race last time, and he showed some speed. Then he dropped 11th. Well, the horse that won that race is Kayang Rising. He set the track record in that race. So, okay, we'll toss that one.
Yeah, kind of tough to keep that.
We'll toss that one. He's returning to a level he's done well at, and he's getting the weight penalty for it. So that's why he's up there.
Mm-hmm.
And number 9, Swift Ascent, is going to be my final choice. It moves up in class after some winning efforts in a second at lower levels. He's had all kinds of issues and keeps winning. That's, he has not the cleanest trips and wins, but he wins. I mean, last time he did the same thing. He won. He's won some great, very good last quarter. Quick. I mean, they've been quick. He's strictly a long shot here because you can see by the weight.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, but I think he's got a chance to hit the board based on his current form.
The Tom horse going to win? Nah. Funny thing about those Tom horses is whenever I go, this is a Tom horse, he's probably not going to win. He's going to finish in the money. You know what they always do, Tom?
They win.
They win. It's hilarious. All right, well, there's that guy again, as you mentioned, Zach Purton on Wonderbar. I mean, it's really kind of hard to overlook a horse that's run at this track 6 times at the distance and took home the top prize in 4 of them with a close second in another. Number 7, full credit? Yes, number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Full credit is next on my list. Last time out, the horse ran a little bit faster than he did the previous time at this start, at this distance. And today's going to be the second start after a layoff. So I expect the horse will be quicker today than he was in the first start. At least that's what the resume says. And this horse on a good surface is what it's supposed to be rated by the time racing gets started. 7 out, 3 wins, a second and 2/3. So 6 out of 7 on the good footing. Number 1, you pointed out Corporate Partner is one that you like, Tom. I like it as well. It is a class dropper. This is another one that excels at the distance. Ran it 13 times and took home the trophy in 7 of them. That's a pretty good record. I think you would take that as an owner, Tom.
I would be very happy.
Yes. And then finally, something they're probably not going to have, but we may see around here soon, a Raging Blizzard. Big time win in its last race, pulled away, made easy work of the competition many times. Big races are followed by another. Horses tend to pair strong outings. At the track, 5 times out, 3 wins, 1 second in the money, 9 of 11 on a good surface. So I think Raging Blizzard will be raging at the end of the race and maybe find its way into the winner's circle. All right, Tom, we got a few more races to go. Race number 8 is the next one on our scheduled things to do. It's the LEIGHTON handicap, getting a little bit easier for me to pronounce. 1,200 meters, again on...
Always first time.
Yeah, I like when they make it
That's
easy.
the way I feel about it, especially some of these names. I mean, like, and some of them are easy, and then ones you got are tongue twisters.
Yeah, and then the people, of course, are laughing at you all across. Don't you know how easy that is to pronounce? Again, there's that 1,200 turn. Good positioning early on, Tom, being key, as you mentioned. You don't want to get stuck wide because you could lose the race right here. You can't lose it right here, but you could lose it right here. We don't want to do that. So if you're interested in seeing who's going to get out to the front, this one, Super Legends, should be on the lead by itself, but we'll get plenty of company in here. It looks like a pretty hot pace heading into that corner, so I would want to jockey and get his horse positioned properly heading into that turn, save some legs for coming out of that turn into the finish line. So maybe like in this group right in here, maybe even far back in here, Tom. What do you think with this race shape? You looking for middle back or middle forward?
I couldn't really make a judgment on that because of the number of horses that are just getting their first starts in Hong Kong. So I kind of ignored the speed map.
All right. No,
I did go look at the barrier trials of the ones and try to get some idea of what may happen. And with that, I decided to start with number 4, Pakistan Legacy is my top choice. 2 for 2 in Australia before coming to Hong Kong. He's had many barrier trials. I think they said 8 was what I read. His last one was on the all-weather. He was taken back, and it was not much. But his trials on the turf have been very good. So maybe he doesn't like that all-weather. There's always a risk for first ups in Hong Kong, as far as I'm concerned. But the key here for me is that Zach's riding. And I don't think he's going to get on a horse that doesn't have a chance. I'm going to take 1, Mighty Stride is my next choice. Best effort was at 1,200 meters. He ran second. Other races, he's been running at 1,400. I don't know why they're putting him back to 1,200. He's got 2 wins and 3 seconds from 5 starts. Why would you run a horse at 1,400 meters when it's doing just fine at 1,200 meters? Unless there's more money involved, I can't really come up with a good reason.
They probably can't.
Kind of a record. I kind of, and you can look. He's just done. Ugh. But when he gets 1,200, he seems to like it, and he gets the weight penalty. So obviously, that's a good reason for it. And I will take number 2 as my final choice, Arias Nova. He's pulled up last time with problems. He's run 3 times in Hong Kong. None of these have been great, but he's had some issues. Yeah, but he's been good before. And I think maybe he just needs a little better trip and a little better. Let's see what he can do here at Hong Kong. Because he comes in with 11 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. In a field with a lot of unknowns, I am going to take him for third.
Yeah, I agree. It's a field of unknowns. So I'm going to go with the 10 horse. I'm going to take a little bit of a flyer here, Thomas. This horse has 2 races so far, and neither of them have been on a good track. Run well in both of those races. If he takes to the good footing, I think he's in the middle of the pack and then comes out of that turn, fans wide, and blows right on by. Number 4, yeah, this one's going to be your favorite, Pakistan Legacy with Zach Purton on there. Has a couple of close wins in 2 races, as you pointed out. Odds are Zach doesn't get on it if he doesn't have a chance to make it 3 wins in 3 races. I also like Mighty Stride. That one is, as you mentioned, Tom, a huge fan of the distance. He ran 5 times. He's got 2 wins and 3 seconds. So 5 out of 5. Why would you run him at any other distance? And maybe we get lucky and we catch a good price because the recent form has been, terrible.
It's been pretty bad.
Yeah. And then finally, let's go with another one. Number 5, Von Bear. This is your horse, Tom. It's a Tom horse. Is he going to win? Probably not. In the money? Absolutely. Best runs have come on a good track and does particularly well first off the sidelines, which is the situation today. So as I pointed out, whenever I say I'm picking a Tom horse, he usually wins. So maybe Von Bear, just circle that one, put it at the top of your ticket, and then forget about everything else that we just said. Don't forget, though, you can forget about what we say, but don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you're watching on Twitter, kindly retweet, follow us if you haven't done so already. So anytime we go live, as you know, Tom, you and I do Foreign Fridays. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Terry and I, we do Parks on Mondays and Tuesdays. We'll do Tampa Bay on Wednesday. We'll do Gulfstream and the championship meet on Thursday. Hopefully have a lot more content, so keep up with us.
No Oakland?
Yeah, we should probably do Oakland too in there somewhere along the lines. I think if
they run for some decent money there, so
they do indeed.
And the fields have been decent size lately.
I do like Oakland, but it tends to buck up against Gulfstream Park on Thursday.
It sure does.
If Gulfstream moves to Wednesdays, I do think they might start running Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays. I'm not sure. But if they do, sometimes during the championship meet, then we will go Oakland and Gulfstream for sure. I agree with you.
No, just thought that would be a track to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like Turfway Park, though, in a lot of ways, in that you can just take out a random number generator, probably do just as well. All right. Race number 9, 2 races to go for you and me on this Foreign Friday, Tom. This one is the Caroline Hill Handicap. Yes, getting even easier to pronounce. Another one of those races that's going to be about 1,400 meters. You got a little bit more runway till you get to that turn. So every horse should be able to find itself into the position it prefers. And according to the speed map for this one, most of your speed is middle back. With most of your speed to the backside there, this horses up front might not have to work as hard as if they had other people on their heels. So I would be looking for a horse that's middle forward, having a better chance than normal to score the W here. Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't think the front runners are going to hold. I think it's whoever drafts well, sits in the pocket, and comes out in a timely fashion, gets the hole, and goes.
And who's going to make that timed move?
Yep, I'm going to take number 11, Wind Speed, my first choice. Showed speed in his last race and then went backwards. But he also had an awful draw. He had post 14. Yeah, that's tough. I think more favorable draw today. That helps a lot. 5 is certainly better than 14. And that helps with a horse that's got some speed, tactical speed. You don't want to get stuck 4 wide. Comes off a barrier trial. He ran second. So that looked pretty good. He's won at this level before, interestingly enough. And he did have an unfavorable post position. He had 12 when he did win. So we know he can win at this level. Let's see if he can do it here. Number 1, Magnificent 9 is going to be my next choice. You had some issues last time and rallied from last to finish 4th. And that was a little bit higher level. His best efforts was at this distance was 3rd. He's never won in Hong Kong, but he's been good at getting in the money. 17 starts, 7 times in the money. It's pretty good for this level. Gets decent jockey.
Not bad.
And let's see what'll happen. And finally, I'm going to take number 3, Master of All. Has plenty of speed, but he's got drawing out that outside. So really depends on what that inside speed does. And I think he can get out he'll have to be used a little. He's done it before, and he has a tendency to get caught wide. So that's my big concern. But I'm playing to hang on at the end, and that's where I'm placing him 3rd.
Well, where you stop, I'm going to start, because when you look at this field just from a 10,000-foot view and down, really all of the horses in here, except for this one, are pretty bad. It's their current form.
This is not a stellar bunch.
Yeah. So how do you go with any other one? I mean, I'm trying to make a case to get away from the favorite, and I'm thinking, well, how do you get away from this horse when you look at the track record of all the others on the track? So, and he's 5 years old, facing off a bunch of 4- and 3-year-olds. And the interesting thing about age, early in the year, you want to think about that more than later in the year. So these horses are just flipping over. So the 3-year-olds were just 2-year-olds a couple days ago. 4-year-olds are just 3-year-olds a couple days ago. So I think this is a time where age could make a bigger difference. This horse looks like it's the class of the field. We'll see. After that, I'm going to go with Sky Deep, the 10 horse. If you look at this line over here, Tom, 13.74. You know what that means, right?
Hopefully getting better.
Yeah, he's improving in there. But I think this horse falls into a category that's quickly becoming one of my favorite handicapping angles, and it's called the finally healthy horse. The first time in this horse's career, he's going to make 2 starts in a row. Means that horse is probably as firm as it's been, and last time out ran its best race. So if it improves on that at all, that trend continues. Hello, winner's enclosure.
And I thought it was interesting on his weight. He was one of the bigger horses weight-wise. There's another one at 1,238, and the rest of them are pretty much 1,100, except for that one horse. Curiously, at 951 pounds is not a lot.
That's a skinny guy, right? They're
yeah,
not feeding that one.
Small horse.
Yeah, loading that one up with the Anavar. And then Magnificent 9, the other one that you like in there, Tom, as well. You pointed out it's facing lighter company. Yeah, it's the only class dropper in the race. It is a 5-year-old as well, and does have that top jockey on there. So lots of reasons to think that one should be in the money. He's always kind of flirting with the money right up here. And then finally, Gallant Epoch, the 13 horse. Another one of those. Look at that line. 11, 8, and 3, Thomas. Last time out was the first time after a layoff, as we mentioned, finished 3rd, but showed some speed and then faded. The only other time the horse made 2 races in a row, you can see he went from 11th to 8th. So if he improves the same number of spots today, hey, he could be your winner. And you pointed out there's not a lot of speed in this race, Tom. And this is the inside draw speed, that 2 horse. So maybe.
Well, and favorable weight.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't hurt any either.
So maybe he chases the 3 or the 3 chases it all the way around the track. So that was my my thinking on that 13 horse. Again, I feel like this is, if you were going to bet like a vertical race and this is a part of the pick 4, pick 6, pick 5, whatever, yeah, you probably tap the all button and try to single something somewhere else.
Well, if you don't, you better have a really sharp pencil.
And a sharp brain.
Out of that one, because I agree with you. I think it's roll of the dice.
We go to the Broadway Handicap, race number 10, the final race for you and me this week for Foreign Friday. Tom, any inclination as to where our travels might take us next Friday?
No clue.
Yeah, well,
I didn't look that far in advance this time around.
Well, the good news is if you follow us on our social sites down there, you give us a thumbs up and a like, and you hit that bell on YouTube, wherever we're going to be, you'll be notified about a half an hour before we go live.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, in South Africa, the first Breeders' Cup win and you're in race is on the 4th. So that'll be interesting when they're going down there, because they did have 2 starters in the Breeders' Cup this year from South Africa.
Yes, I remember in our Foreign Friday show, we actually had a South African who was touting the South African horse, who subsequently didn't do anything. But maybe much like Japan, they'll build their way into competitiveness in these big American races, and as well as English racing on the grass, like the Royal Ascot and so forth. Yeah, so in this one, they're going to go 1,400 meters again. So you're going to start back here. Plenty of time to get positioned again. So that's good. They'll have time to get themselves in shape. Unlike the race before, you see this one's kind of front-loaded in there. A lot of that early speed in there. They'll be chasing down Bruce Fallis. They'll be putting the heat on that one. So I would probably look these horses in here. Probably this quartet right there could actually get excellent trips if this race plays out the way it looks in the pace setup. Tom, how do you think it plays out?
I'm going to go with number 11, Light Your Charm. I'm not a fan of the post position, but I do like his first start in Hong Kong. He had issues, ran mid-pack. He was blocked at one point, kind of stopped actually, but he kept going and looked okay. He's a maiden winner in Australia. He placed in his other race. I think he's good enough to see some improvement from that last race. Number 5, Bundle Award is going to be my next choice. This horse appears to have needed that start in Hong Kong. He broke from 13, ran in the back of the field. He was really not on terms, and then finished with interest. So in Australia, he ran 4 times, won 3 of them.
Good number.
Yeah, and well, it was a benchmark 64 level, so that's about the right level you would think for this bunch. Mm-hmm. Last time out, he went off at 42 to 1. Again, that would be one I would watch the board. If there's any interest in the odds, I would say that may have a chance. Mm-hmm. Finally, I'm going to take number 3, Silo, my final choice. I ran second last time out, missed by a neck at 1650. He's run close to the pace, and then he's run off the pace. And he appears to be the preferred style seems to be closing. So I'm hoping that's what they'll do with him. A gentleman above him, Hugh Bowman, does know how to ride a horse pretty well, so he can judge that pace. I don't like the outside post again, but new jockey, working well. It's just a matter of getting position. The last time they pushed him to be more forwardly placed. This time, let's see what they do with him.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to start off with the same horse you started off with, Light Year's Charm. That 11 horse in there, Thomas. This one is making the second start after layoff. Improved a ton and won the only time he had a second start off of the bench. So I'm looking for that pattern to repeat. That front runner in there, yes, Bucafalas or something along those lines. That one's never been out of the money in 4 races. 1 win, a trio of seconds in there as well. This one's been solid off the sidelines as well. So what the hell? The morning line odds look like they'll be about 11 to 1. Seems fair enough for me, a horse that's never finished out of the money or worse than second. Number 13, Packing Angel. I'm way down here, Tom. All these horses with Zach Purton again. There's that guy. You can't ignore him. 3rd run in a row for the first time. So another one of those horses that's finally healthy. I've noticed the horses, when they get to that 3rd start for the first time, Tom, it's one of 2 options. It's usually a boom or a bust. I'm banking on Zach Purton giving it a boom race.
Well, he got a good draw. He did well last time, so
he won. So maybe go back to back. I think he's moving up in class a little bit, though.
Yeah, he's moving up. That's why the weight
is a little bit lighter. And here's another one that's on the improve, Kaholo Angel. This one just missed in his last race, and his resume says Expect improvement in the second start after a layoff and is one of the 5-year-olds in this field. So again, I feel like early in the year, age is more important. As I mentioned, over at horseracingtoday.net, already you'll see the Sha Tin picks in there that Tom and I just made along with our comments. In the description on YouTube, we will shortly put the timestamp for every single race so you can come back and watch race 5, race 6, race 7. There'll be titles for each one. You'll see that in the more section. If you haven't done so already, please kindly follow us on all of our social sites down there. Subscribe on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up, a like. Any interaction helps boost our search engine optimization scores. So when other folks are searching for horse racing, they're more likely to find Tom and I or Terry and I when we make our picks or any other content that we create. Again, free track always over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Tonight, on Friday, happens to be Charlestown. You can get that there. Just click on that using the link in the description anywhere you find us. Any final thoughts from you, Tom, before you and I get up and get out of here?
Well, there's one race I think is a little easier than the rest of them in this bunch that we did, but I think there's some definitely challenging events, and it should be interesting. Again, I don't see any real huge big favorites. This is the kind of where the favorites are going to be sitting around 3-1.
I do think in that second to last race, though, there's going to be a big favorite that 3 horse.
Yeah, that probably, but I think that's the only race.
Yeah, and even in that race, there's so many questions to be answered. You have no idea what's going to happen.
Well, and again, that a lot of times I will not play first-time starters at Hong Kong unless there's just a compelling reason, and I think there's a compelling reason on this one. Mm-hmm. Basically being undefeated and had some good barriers. So, and the jockey that adds. If they're putting some apprentice on, I would say, yeah, no, I'm not interested.
So you have 2 + 1 + 1 = 4, so therefore you got to go with Zach Burton.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason I did. But the rest of them, I really think the favorites are going to be 3-1.
Yeah, I would suggest for the rest of them just going to Google, searching random number generator for Excel, and perhaps you'll find some winners that way too. No matter how you find your winners, no matter what you're doing for the rest of this weekend, Tom and I certainly do appreciate you showing up today to see what we have to say. Hopefully something valid in there. We do all right on Foreign Fridays, though. That's why folks
we have our moments and we have our forgettable opportunities, but we're also doing tracks that we've never been. Well, that's not true. I've been to Sha Tin, but for the most part, tracks we've never been to. So and they probably never will go to in some cases.
Well, you never know. Hopefully, we get some support. We get to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. I was talking to somebody who is in the golf world, is an influencer, pretty big influencer. As a matter of fact, he'll be doing the announcing for the new Tiger Woods Indoor Golf League. And he says that the key is to get to 10,000. Once you get to 10,000, he says the doors tend to open up. So we're 60% the way there. Hopefully, we can get there all the way this year, but we'll need your help to do that. And if you help us get to 10,000 and the doors actually do fling open and all of a sudden we're at 150,000 subscribers, then we'll go to Sha Tin, or we can go to Happy Valley, or we can go to the Royal Ascot, and we can bring that directly to you right here on YouTube and all of our other social sites. But until then, we hope you have God's grace, God's favor, and every single thing that you do ends up in the place you and I want to be, Tom, and that is
absolutely the winner's enclosure.
Yes, indeed. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you on Monday for Parks. Till then, sayonara.